We are so excited that you are here. My name is Heather Miller, and Jessica Winston is on with me as well. She has a beautiful colored background in dancing.
I do.
So this webinar is called Going from YAG to Yay. So this webinar is a little bit different in the fact of we are going to be taking your YAG, your year at a glance, and creating Seesaw activities on the spot, which means we have not prepared anything for this already. It's going to be live and in action. We are going to poll the audience and see which grade level has the most people present, and that grade, we will go to that grade level's year at a glance, and then we'll poll you guys one more time to figure out which subject you would like us to do, and we just go through there. So if at any time you guys have a question, we're going to pause every now and then to just check to make sure you don't have a question. You can always unmute yourself, or you can even just type in the chat a question, and Jessica or I will either answer it live or type an answer. And it looks, I am going to send out a poll to your screen, and go ahead and mark your grade level. If you happen to be a middle school or high school teacher that's joining us, I put all of yours together because most of the time you can teach multiple grades in one year. Also, if you are a IIT or a librarian, just pick your favorite grade level that you would like to see. This is not a grade, so you just pick which one that you would like. Yeah, it looks like second grade is totally winning out. So we have all the way pre-kinder all the way to fifth, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to end the poll here. And so I'm share the results so you guys know we're not lying. Not making up that we just want to do second grade. So second grade won by, you guys have 6 people, so that's pretty cool. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start pulling up the YAG for second grade, but I want to see which subject you guys want to do. So I'm going to launch this poll, and so I'm going to pull up the YAG while you guys are doing that. Jessica, what does it look like that we are going to do today?
Looking like ELAR is winning out.
ELAR, man, that's a favorite, it seems. We've done 2 ELAR and a math.
That's
so,
right.
Second grade ELAR. Okay, here we go. All right. I'm going to go ahead and end the poll here. So it looks, I'll share the results with you guys. You have 8 people that want ELAR, and then 3 for all the others. So ELAR it is. Okay, here we go. Share my screen with you guys. So I've pulled up the ELAR here for second grade. All right, and we're going to look at next week because most likely you guys have already done this week. So let's go to this week's plans. So many clicks. But you guys have probably noticed that already. All right. Okay, so it looks like we have Comprehension Lesson 1, Lesson 2. Okay, so phonics, we're going to make Lesson 3 because this is Lesson 1, Lesson 2, and then phonics will make number 3. So I'm going to send out another poll to you guys. Here we go. So 1, 2, or 3. So Comprehension Lesson 1, Comprehension Lesson 2, or phonics lesson is the number 3. So pick which one that you would like. We have, I'm going to tell you what they are. Phonics is inflectional endings is the focus. Comprehension Lesson 1 is recognizing characteristics of informational text. Or Comprehension Lesson 2 is importance of text features. So number 1 is characteristics of informational text. Lesson 2 is the importance of text features. And number 3 is the phonics lesson, inflectional ending. So go ahead and on the poll that came up, mark a 1, a 2, or a 3, and let's see which one we're going to pick. This is being recorded, and we are going to load all of our YAG to Yays on the YouTube channel so that you guys can view them later. So you don't have to worry about taking frantic notes. But if at any time you want us to stop or slow down or anything like that, if you click on the participant list, you have some options. There's a yes, no, go slower, go faster. There's even like an up and down type thing like that. So
we don't have the poll yet, Heather.
Well, why? It says in poll. Okay, I'm going to relaunch the poll.
Popped up on my screen now. There we go.
Relaunching the poll. Let's try one more time. Can you see it now?
It popped up. There we go.
Okay, there we go. Thank you. It was frozen. I was wondering why I was like, everybody's indecisive. Nobody's picking what they want to do. Okay. Oh, man. Yes, thank you. Sorry. Everybody's not seeing the poll. So finally saw the chat. Oh, wow. Okay, it looks like the comprehension lesson 2 with text features is winning out. So I'm going to give you guys, I have 15 out of 24 people. I'm going to give you about 10 more seconds to make your choice. Okay, here we go. Ending the poll now. Share the results with you guys. Check that out. So number 2, comprehension lesson 2 with the text features is the one we are doing today. All right, so let me go down to lesson 2 here. So it looks like they're going to focus on text features in the text. They're going to tell siblings and parents what they already know about text features. They're going to name some. They're going to tell what the purpose is. Okay. And then when they want to reread the article that they chose from the day before. All right, so let's pull up Seesaw and get started. So I'm going to go to my Seesaw class here. And the thing that I like to do is make it a side-by-side, but you can always just go between the tabs. That's fine too. But I'm going to go to plus and assign activity. Oh, not home learning codes. There we go. I changed my cursor to bigger because from our feedback, the cursor is so small, sometimes it's hard to find on the screen. So that was good feedback for making sure you guys can see what we can see. All right, so I'm in my activity library. I'm going to create a new activity. This is starting from scratch. If you have never created an activity before, I would highly recommend going to the Seesaw activity library or even the school and district libraries that we have, because there are so many already in there and you can just edit and kind of tweak it and make it your own. But for this one, we want to show you what to do to start from scratch. So when you get that lesson plan for the distance learning YAG and it has all these links and things going on, what do you do with that? So that's why we're starting from scratch to kind of walk you through how all that will work. Okay, so I am going to go to activity name first, and what I like to do is I like to add an emoji before the name, because if you've seen the activity list, the feed, all these activities can get lost very easily. So I like to add an emoji. So since we're doing ELAR and we're doing books, I will put a book emoji in there. So the way that you get the Emoji Keyboard is once you've clicked in your cursors in the spot that you want to type, you're going to hold down the Windows key and the semicolon, and it's going to pop up with your Emoji Keyboard. And then You can search through all these, but if it's an emoji that you're constantly using, like here's one I've used for science, math, here's one for reading, here's one for that I made for messages with teacher, all those are ones that I used recently. So you don't have to search every time. But let's say this is the first time you're doing it, you can just search books and it will come up. And then all you got to do is click enter, or you can just click on it and will show up there as well. Once you're finished, you click on the X. So again, you're clicking on the Windows icon on your keyboard and the semicolon, and it will pop up with that emoji keyboard. Yes, there's a question of if you have to leave a little earlier than 12, will you still get credit? For sure. Like, if you're staying most of the time, yes, for sure. We will have a form at the end. Just make sure you fill that out. Okay. All right. So I'm going to type in what my lesson is about. So the learning target is text features. So that's what I'm going to type for my activity here. Oh, text is features. Text features. For the instructions, I like to do that last, just because I kind of like to figure out all the things that I'm going to do first, and kind of build the activity and then put the instructions in there. Everybody kind of does it a different way, but that's the way I like to do it. So I'm going to add this multimedia instructions or example first. And so I'm going to look at what our week is consisting of here. So we have a text features anchor chart that looks like that. And then we have some articles that they read. And it looks like all of these are PDFs. Yes. Yes. Okay. So what I would suggest, we have another webinar that's going over hidden feature or like tips and tricks to use with Seesaw. So I'm going to actually show you guys one of those right now. We're combining them all together. So with multiple links like this, if I were just to take the link for that PDF and put it in here, if I just do one link, then it will just show up as that one book, right? But it's asking us to choose between those three books. So what I want to do is I want to combine those links together. So what I'm going to do is go to a new tab and I'm going to type the website link tree, and I'll have Jessica put that in there for you. And so when you are going to this website, you can just do get started for free and then fill in all the good stuff. So okay. So once you are, we're just going to continue with the free one. You can have unlimited links with the free, which is nice. And so you don't have to have paid, which a lot of things are going free right now, all the premium ones. So that's nice to just have unlimited links. I'm going to show you what that looks like. So right here in this link tree, I can add multiple links on here. So I'm going to add a link and then I can put in that URL here. So I'm going to take this link, copy the link, and paste it in this link tree. And then I can enter the title of what it is. So this one is Too Much Toothpaste. Okay, I'm going to add a new link. Over here on the right side, you can see what it looks like. There's a Too Much Toothpaste link. And then I can put in the next URL. And I'm going to show you how to do this if you don't have the link tree, because link tree is not necessary. It just makes it a little bit easier on the eyes to read. Some people have used Wakelet. Some people have used Linktree. I mean, there's lots of different ones. But once you have this one, then you see them all over here on the side. So it works on the computer and on your phone. So you can copy it. And when I go back to my Seesaw activity, then when I go into link, I can paste that link right there. And so all those books will show up just like that, which is nice because then they have a one-stop shop for them to see all those links. And you can share with your grade level too, so that way maybe one person has the links for reading and one person has the links for math, and they can share them. Now, I'm going to show you another way that you can do it in case you don't want to go through the link tree or another website. I'm going to just start over here. When you go to Multimedia Instructions or Example, if you click on the Note feature, you can type the things on here. So I'm going to highlight these. I'm going to paste them into my notes. I'm just going to enter because I have to paste the link in there. Okay, so I'm just typing the title of what those stories are, and I'm pasting the link. So I'm copying the URL, going back over here and pasting the link. And then even though it doesn't show up active yet, it will show up active when I save it. Okay. So now when I click the check mark, it's not active yet because I haven't saved it all the way through. But when I click the check mark again to save it to my activity, see how now the links are blue and they are active. So the students will be able to click on them. So it's asking us to pay attention to the text features we read. So after you read the article, label all the text features and think about why the author would choose those specific features to include in his or her article. Okay, so this is very interesting because to me, I feel like if they're choosing an article, I want to post the article into the template. So there's a couple of different ways that you can do this. What I would suggest is maybe just they can choose one of these articles to read, but I would just upload one as a template so that they can mark the pages. So I am just going to, let's see, should we do toothpaste, sugar, or the animal one? So in the comments, just type toothpaste, sugar, or animal. Let's see which one we should load up.
Sugar.
Oh, honey, honey, bum, 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 bum. Okay, sugar it is. So I'm going to click on the sugar PDF, and I'm going to click over here in the right and just download it. Okay, so I opened the PDF, went over to the right, clicked download, and then I clicked on this tab right here, and I'm going to add my template. When I'm adding my template and I'm wanting to do the PDF, I'm going to choose to upload. So I'm going to click upload and check out this little tips or trick. I'm going to drag it and drop it. So again, I just dragged that PDF from the bottom and dropped it in, and voila! It's like you're a little Seesaw magician. All the pages show up over here on the right side. So you can see I have 3 pages of this story that are showing up. So technically, you could put in all of them if they're not very long stories, but I think sometimes the kiddos get overwhelmed. And so you could just leave this one story in here or choose whichever story you think has the most text features. And then you are going to draw whatever you want on top of it. So what I would suggest is if you are wanting them to do something specific like a math problem, or you're wanting them to do text features, I would highly recommend doing their first slide to show them exactly what you want them to do. Because as you know, and as you probably have heard from parents, the kids are constantly asking the parents, wait, what am I supposed to do with this? So I'm going to show you how to record your screen as an example so that then they can go and do it on their own as independent work. So I'm going to come over here to the right side, and I'm going to choose the 3 dots and say duplicate page. So now I have 2 of those title pages labeled sugar. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go start on this first page, and I'm going to record over the page of what I want them to do. So to remind myself what I need to do, I'm going to click back on my lesson plan, and it's asking them to label all the text features and think about why the author would choose those specific features to include in their article. And then next to the label, state why they would use that text feature. How does it help the reader? Okay, so we have the text feature of title. We have the text feature of author and headings and stuff like that. So if there was something specific on this page, so let's just say the text feature here is title, I'm going to record over so that they can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to press the microphone over here on the left. It's going to start counting down. All right, boys and girls, today we're going to review oh man, I messed up. So I'm going to pause it, and I'm going to just click on this X, because if you have this red up here, it knows that you are in the recording spot. So that X doesn't take you out of everything. It just takes you out of the recording. So I'm going to click on the X, and it's going to say, you sure you want to exit recording? Why, yes, I do, because I messed up. So I'm going to click on the microphone. I'm going to start recording again. All right, boys and girls, we are going to be reviewing text features. You remember what those are? Well, I see one on this page right here, and that is a title. Do you see the title on there? I'm going to click on the arrow down here at the bottom, and I'm going to point to this title. Do you see it? The Truth About Sugar. And I'm going to click over here on the left where there's a T, and I'm going to type the word title because I know that is a text feature. And I can even use my pencil and draw an arrow to the title. You can even circle the title if you want to show that is what the title is, The Truth About Sugar. Now, why would the author put The Truth About Sugar? Why would he put it like that? Did it catch your attention that the word sugar has all these sugar candies? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use another text box. So I'm going to type the T. I'm going to say the sugar candies make me want to read this article. Did it make you want to read the article, or did it want to make you run to the kitchen and get candies? I want you to write that for your page. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on the next page, and I want you to label the text feature for the title, but I also want to see if you can find any other text features on this page and the other pages. Have fun. Okay, so I've recorded my whole thing, and then I'm going to click done. So now I have a recording. They can see everything that I'm doing. And then all the other pages, they're going to do it on their own, okay? So when I click on the check, it's going to save all of that together. Now, what I want to point out is you might, when you're recording, you might want to, or you can even make a text box of this, but you might want to share with the students so that the parents can see as well, that man, I'm getting tripped over my words. The magnifying glass with the plus sign up here will help them to zoom in. And so if they click on there, they can actually zoom into that article and move it around. Now, obviously, they're just labeling for this one, so they wouldn't necessarily have to zoom in to circle the headline. But sometimes it's helpful if they're on a smaller device like a phone or an iPad, any kind of tablet that's really small, that zoom in feature is perfect and ideal for that situation. So if they label, when they zoom out, their label will be the same size. So I'm going to just show you what that looks like. Okay, so if I were to circle on this right here. Oh man, my circle went haywire there. Okay, there we go. My mouse does not like to circle today. There we go. Let's say I circled this. When I zoomed back out, you see how my circle just shrinks back with the page. So it's very helpful for those kids who need that print to be a little bit larger. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the check mark and I'm going to save my template. So looking back at the lesson plan, it's saying after reading the article, think about a topic you know a lot about, tell about your topic. Remember to include, okay, so you can add like this writing part right here, you can add to the very last part, the very last page of your template. If you wanted to, you could just add a blank page and tell them to write about a topic they know a lot about. So just to show you what that would look like, I'm going to go back to my template. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to add a new page. Okay. I think it added all my pages out of whack here. I'm going to just drag them up. In case you didn't know you could do that, you can just click and drag them to the right spot, okay, in case they get out of order. Okay. What is happening? Why do I have multiple pages here? Okay, you know what? I'm just going to exit out. Delete unsaved changes. We're going to try again. Click on the template. Okay, that's better. Maybe I just need to give it some time to load up. So I'm going to click on add page and it pulls up this blank page at the bottom. And so I want my kids to kind of write their own story. So what you could do is choose the 3 dots and pick a background. And one of the backgrounds here is the lines. And so you can just leave that lined paper on there. And with the text box, you can just say, now write your own story. Make sure to include text features. Make sure to include text features. Yeah, sure. All right, so then right now you can see the lines behind this one. So if you want to fill it in, I can click on the 3 dots and then just fill in the style here so that it kind of sticks out and I don't see those lines behind it. And so then they can write their own story. And you can drag the circles from the left or right if you want to just expand it through the whole top of the page. So that way most of the lines are not covered up. That may be helpful. All right, I'm going to click on the check mark. And before I move on, I'm going to pause right there and just see if anybody has a question. I don't see the chat going off, but if you have a question, you can just unmute yourself or you can post it into the chat. So I'm going to go ahead. Oh, I think let me make sure you guys can unmute yourself. So I'm going to give you a second just to see if you need to unmute yourself or post in the chat a question about what we've done so far. How did you make your cursor bigger? Good question. The cursor, I made my cursor bigger. It's actually a Chrome extension. So if you just search, this is a squirrel moment. So if you can just type cursor extension is what I typed in. And then right here, the first one that comes up, custom cursor for Chrome, and add it in. And then it's this extension right here. So you can click on it and change it to a larger cursor or different colors. Okay. How do you change the letter color when you use the T? Okay, so I'm going to go back to the template to show you that. When you click on the T and you are typing in, so you have to type in something first before it lets you move it around. So even if you just typed a period, you can then move it. So I'm going to move it to a better spot. But you have the color bar over here on the right side. So you can change whatever color that you would like to have. So let me just put, what are the text features that you I think you would say that differently, but just for time's sake, I'm going to leave it. So I can move the colors over here and change the font color that way. Now, if you click on the three dots, you can change the style. So you can change what the font looks like. You can even take off the border of it or even fill it in. Just kind of personal preference on that. Okay. So now, Jessica, do you see any more on there? I see the chat, but I think it...
No questions. I just added the link to the extension.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, I didn't hyperlink though. You might want to... Oh, can you add more than one multimedia activity? An anchor chart to review vocabulary and a video for clarification. Okay, so what I would suggest is if you were doing an anchor chart and a video, you cannot add more than one multimedia right now, but you could like put the video for clarification on the, like, I'm thinking you're talking about video where they can actually see your face, but you can do the video for clarification, and then you can post the anchor chart into the template, or you can even just get the link for that and post it into the caption of the video. So like if I click on this note right here, down here for the video option, you'll see where it says add caption, and then you can just paste the link for that anchor chart. So that way they can have the video, and then they can click the link to see that anchor chart. And even in the video, you could say, hey, click down below to see a helpful chart. Okay. What about adding more activity on the student template? Yes, you can add so many things on the student template. You can add voice captions at the bottom. You can add icons for them to move around, pictures for them to move around. It's just this activity doesn't have that. You can go ahead and add, like if you wanted to go ahead and add what the text features are called, and then they just move them around, you can do that by just adding text boxes. So if I go to this one, and let's just say instead of asking the question, I'm just going to say title, and then I can duplicate this box because I like the color, I like the style, I don't want to do that all over again. So I can just do Control D for duplicate, or I can click the three dots and do duplicate that way as well. So I can say title, heading. Jessica, help me with text features. My mind is blanking.
Subtitle, captions.
Oh, caption. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Let's just say we have those three. So then they can move them around, or they can draw a line to it, whatever, but at least it's already labeled for them. Can you add the anchor chart and the instructions as a link? Yes, you sure can. If you wanted to add a link into the instructions, it's similar to when I added the note feature here. You can add, which I'm going to take off this. So let's say I'm going to add the link to my link tree here. Whoop, that's not right. Okay, so let's say this anchor chart that they have, the text features anchor chart, I want to add that in. So I can click and copy the URL, and I can add it to my link tree, or down here, what I was saying before, I can click caption and add it in there. So I can say text features anchor chart, and then I can add it that way. If I want to add it to my instructions, I can do that too. And just type text features anchor chart and type it in. It's just the link is not going to be so pretty. And it won't activate until I save the activity. If you want to add the anchor chart in with your assignment so that they can see it, like with your template, you can do that as well. So I'm just going to add a new page here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to show you guys something different. If I go to my anchor chart, so we can paste the link as a caption in there. We can load it up as a PDF. We can paste the link into the instructions. But you can also, I'm going to zoom in here. You can also use this Chrome extension right here, which is the Seesaw Chrome extension. So if I click on there, I can do capture selected area. And if I drag this like that, it pulls it into my template. There it is. I was like, where'd it go? Maybe don't drag it into the page you've already recorded on, Heather. So let me say I want to drag it into this one. I will show you one more time. So I'm going to pull up my PDF or my document. I'm going to click on the Seesaw one, select the area. I'm going to drag it over. And because I already have my template open, it's going to pull it into that page of that template that I'm on. So voila. And then I can leave it right there for the kiddos to look at and see what they need to do. And if I want to do the other one and I want to keep it on this page as well, I just scroll down, click on the Seesaw, select the area, drag that spot. And again, I have my template open. I have it to the page I want it to go on. And so I can add it right in there like that. If you wanted to have a different page with these, the control keys work in the template. So if you just add a new page and you go to the one where you have the picture, if I just click on it and do, oh, I'm on the marker. Silly marker. If I click on it and do Control X, which is to cut it out, I can actually Control V, which is to paste, and paste it into this page. And then I can do the same thing with the other one. Click on it. Oh man, that marker. Control X to cut it. Go to the next page, Control V to paste it. And then you can drag that page to whichever order that you would like, but now they have those anchor charts in there for them to see. Jessica, would you mind putting that extension for the Seesaw Chrome in there? They're all looking for it.
Okay.
So to move these, I was just doing Control C. I was clicking on it, Control X, cut it out, Control V to paste it. Okay. So Christy, is there something that you missed you want me to show you again? I know sometimes it goes like from tiny cursor to big cursor, so that's a little bit challenging. Okay. Like I said, we are recording it, so we can go back and see. Okay, so I have my recording on that first page. I have the pages I want them to complete. I have just kind of a text feature page that they can review. Even have a writing page. So I'm going to actually move this anchor chart up here so that they can see that right away and save this. Okay, so now I want to, I'm going to leave this link in here just because I want you to see what it looks like when I save it. So now I need to think about what I want them to do. So the first thing was on the lesson plan, it said for them to like go talk to a family, like tell a sibling or a parent what you know about text features. And so you can put that one in there, but I'm just going to ask the question. What do you know about text features? And then one, I want them to click and read one of the articles. Look for the text features. What do you notice? Okay, then I want them to click add, because now they're going to complete the template. So the best way to kind of look for those Seesaw shortcuts is I just search, like Google search Seesaw icon shortcut, but we do have the link for you, and Jessica will put that in the chat as well. But all these shortcuts, whenever you type these into the instructions, it's going to show up with these pictures over here on the left. So I want them to click add response. So I'm going to type :add : in order for them to see that picture. So :add : click add response. And then I want them to review, look at the text features. What is it called? Anchor charts to help you review. Number 4, complete pages. I think it's like 3 through 5 by showing all the text features. And Jessica, if you see someone chatting while typing this, chime in. Number 5, use page 6 to write your own story. Make sure to include text features. I think I said text features enough. All right. Okay, so then I have the anchor chart down here as well. It is very helpful to add voice instructions because, like I mentioned before, most of your kiddos are doing this on their own. And so adding voice instructions and them being able to hear while they're looking at your instructions is so super helpful. Having a little kid at home, I have seen both sides where they have voice instructions and they don't. And she is a lot more independent when there are voice instructions attached. So just a side note, I'm not going to do that right now because I've already recorded some instructions in here for you guys to see, but I would highly recommend that. Coming down here to more options, if you guys have other notes that you want to share with teachers, maybe extra websites or something like that, I would highly recommend putting that information in here. The students don't see it, parents don't see it. That's really just for any teacher that's taking your assignment and using it. So let's say you recorded, like I recorded my voice on page 2, but I would rather people record their own voice. So you could click on page 2 of the template, go and record your own voice or instructions for your students so that they know that that's what they need to do. You know, I'm just going to put it on here so you can see what it looks like. So now I click save. So that link, all those links that we had that weren't active before, now they are. And it's saving, saving, saving. Jessica, I don't know why your links in the chat are not active, my dear.
They're showing up active for me. Anybody in the chat, you guys are just seeing plain text. They're all blue on my end. Just very strange.
They're black, like just words on mine. Okay. So, oh, they're active. Okay, maybe it's just my end. Good. I'm glad they're active on y'all's end because I have the links. So, okay, so as you can see over here for our activity that we created, we have our emoji that helps us with the, the title, the instructions, and here is the link that I put in the instructions is now active. So you can see how that looks. Uh-oh. They're not active. They're all like, no, wait, they're not active. Maybe you need to put like a space after the link or something for us. That'll work. Okay, so this is the link for my link tree and my template. And then here are the teacher notes that I put on there for any teacher that wants to share it. So what do you do now? Like, how do I get it to my team? I've created this lesson. I've spent all this time. What do I do? So we're going to walk through how to do that. Down here in the bottom right corner, I'm going to click on the 3 dots, scroll down a little bit, and I'm going to choose to share this activity. I'm going to share it to the school and district libraries because this is the best and easiest way to get activities to your teammates. But we will also show you a way to send them a link as well. So I'm going to choose share. We were in 2nd grade today. We did English Language Arts. And I think there's a reading one down here and even writing. And then for you, you will only be attached to your campus and the school and district, the district library. So Jessica and I are both in this school, so I'm going to just pretend that we only have this one school in our district so you can see what that looks like. Okay, so now it's ready to share. I click share and your activity's been submitted. So the nice thing about this is, let's say I get out of here and I look back at my activity and I see a spelling error, or I realize that I linked something incorrectly. I can click on the 3 dots and choose to edit, and that whenever I edit and click save, it automatically refreshes the activity that was shared to the district and the school library, which is helpful. You don't have to go back and forth to make sure you like unshare it, reshare it, all that. It will automatically share the corrected one. So what if I just want to send a link to my teammate? So I can go down here to get activity link and copy this link. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to take this week lesson plan and I'm going to make a copy of it. Okay, I'll just put 2nd grade ELAR. Okay, and I want to share it with my teammate, Jessica. Here it comes, here it comes. Okay, but before I share it, I want to paste that link to the Seesaw activity. So yeah, she can go and view all of this stuff, but I want to make sure she knows that I've created a Seesaw activity. So down here, we were in Comprehension Lesson 2, and I'm just going to paste that link in here. And you don't even have to paste the whole link if you just wanted to put, let's say, Seesaw. I'm going to put it in big, bold letters so she can see it. Oh, goodness. I can spell activity. Okay, so I'm just going to click up here for the link, insert the link, and paste it in. So now I don't have that big yucky link. I just have this one. And so when I share it with her, and I'm going to tag her in so that she can show you how the couple of different ways she can get those links to the Seesaw activity from me. Jessica, no, what is happening? I'm going to just paste it in for you, girl.
I have no idea. They are blue on my end, and apparently they're blue for Miss Exotic, so we are all at a loss here. I don't know.
I will paste it in to see if it helps. But I'm going to pass it over to you, tag your it, and so you can show them how, oh, look, it didn't even do it for me either. Okay, I'll work on that while you share your screen, and we can show them all the fun things. Stop. I'm trying to stop. There you go.
All right, let's see if I can find my file again. Sharing my screen. Where are you? There we go. Okay. So you shared the file with me.
I sure did.
which I'm checking in priority, and looky here, there's nothing there yet. But
yeah, I don't know. You guys probably just gonna have to copy the link and paste it in.
yep,
I
yeah.
tried a couple of different ways and there's still just black. I don't know.
Look at that. Okay, so that's the link tree I sent y'all. The custom cursor and the reflector. Okay. So I'm looking for your original file. Do you see anything, Heather Bands? There we are. There we go. Okay, so
Oh, I put it comprehension lesson 2, Seesaw activity. See, I told y'all I had to make it like big and bold.
here we are, Seesaw activity. I'm clicking on the link and boom, it has opened up her Seesaw activity. I see her link tree there. So I'm going to go ahead and save this activity. I close everything that is not necessary. Okay, so now it's in my library. I can go ahead and assign it from here, or actually I'll show you how to whittle down the choices if you didn't have a direct link like Heather did for us. So I'm gonna go ahead and add it to my Seesaw class. I have 57 students in my Seesaw 101 class, but let's just say I don't want 57 students to have this. I'm gonna slide over to edit students. Editing students will allow me to take all of these people out and just say, okay, I just want these babies right here to have it. All of these, just a little small group. That's who I want it to go to. And I can go ahead and click the green check mark. I can also kind of add a bookmark to this assignment, the text feature assignment. I can make it directly tied to reading. And it won't like assign them like your regular Google Drive and hey, I have this folder and everything's gonna live nicely in there. What it will do is it will filter later on when you're looking for that subject of work from your students. And it's not going to be for work that they haven't completed. It's going to be for work that is already done. So you can add a new folder by creating a folder down here. I have several, but I'm going to use reading for this since it's a text feature activity. You could also make a folder that says text feature, second grade, up to you if you want to be more specific. Green check mark I clicked. I have that assigned here. I can go ahead and put this into the classroom right now so those 5 students can start working on it today. Or if I want to kind of front load my planning, I'm going to schedule it to show up on a certain day. So here's my schedule button. So you have the option for assigning immediately or a future date. So I'm going to go ahead and set this one up to show up on Monday at 8 a.m. So I typed that in, but you could also use these buttons to toggle the hour and the minute up and down. So this one is going to show up for my students April 7th, 8 a.m. And now my button has changed from assign, just regular assign, to assign when. Here it is. All right, so now it is in my Seesaw library right here. The students cannot see my feed just yet. Not until they go to their activity library and choose add response. So before the students actually get their hands on it on, let's say April, I went down to scheduled on April 7th. I actually can go ahead and check it out before then. So I'm going to pretend I'm a student here, add response, and then all of the templates that Heather made right here are showing up. My students can also tap here for the instructions. If there are sound instructions, we could play there again for them. So here's everything.
All right, boys and girls, we are going to be reviewing text feature.
Okay. And then this is their work page, so they can go through and move things around. Right now I'm on my pen tool, so that makes sense. All of the pages are available for my students to go work through. And then now I write my own story. So everything looks good. I don't see the need to add or take anything away from that activity before it is assigned. So I'm going to go ahead and check the green check mark. And it is good. So now it's pretending like I have turned this in. I have not. Your students will not see this feed. But if you notice right here, I've got, oh, let's see what happens. Hey, did that get bigger for y'all?
It sure did.
Whoop, whoop. Okay, so I'm using my little trackpad. So it is assigned to reading. And if I go to a student, let's say I'm Anna, and I want to see just what Anna has with reading. Okay, well, I'll go to mine first because that's where the reading is. I'm going to click on my folder, going down here, just want to see reading activities. And it pulls all of the assignments up that are tagged in that folder by those particular students. It will only pick up assignments once a student has turned them in. So if I go down to Baymax, Baymax does not have any assignments that are attached to reading. So I would definitely consider tagging folders with whatever subject that you're using. The other great thing about this is that once it is tagged, you can pull up all of those assignments. Let me see if I can get back to where I was. Okay. And let's say you had to share this with an art committee, or you have some RTI data points to pull up. You can share all of your students' work, a particular student's work, by their by the folders, just by clicking print PDF, and it will pull up your kiddo's assignment and a QR code so they can actually hear your student responses, especially if they have made a video or a voice recording. Then you'll be able to give that directly to who needs it, or even for your records, you'll have a deal. So we're not going to wait on that. I'm going to go ahead and click out of that. But it's very nice to have it all in one place. All right.
So Jessica, can you click on Aladdin and just show them how to find Aladdin's folders?
So here's Aladdin. I'm going to slide the cursor all the way over to the blue folder on the right, clicking on here. Right now, it looks like Aladdin has one assignment that is a task. And so here it is. It's private only to me right now. And there's his task assignment. So let's see if I can processing.
So while that's processing, we are at our time now. I went ahead and put the link to the attendance form in the chat. I know it's not clickable. Sorry about that. I'm not sure why that's happening, but if you just want to highlight the link to that form, you will just fill out your name and email. There are 2 questions, but they're not mandatory to answer to get credit. It's just feedback for us as we decide on more webinars. And so I'm going to hand it back to Jessica so she can tell you what she's looking at.
Okay, so all of your kiddos' assignments that are tagged with reading or whatever folder you attach it will come here. It's got a picture or a thumbnail of the work, and then down here you can scan it and put, get to see or hear whatever that activity was. All right, so that is that. I believe that's it.
All right. Perfect. So we are going to stick around here for a few minutes and see if you guys have any question. But we appreciate your time and happy seesawing.
There we go.